Well, for more on Eskom's inability to keep the lights on, we're joined by energy expert Lungile Mashele. Lungile, good evening to you. Thanks for your time. When we look at it really, I mean, there always seems to be a reason for why Eskom can't give stable energy supply to this country. As it stands this week, there's still a risk of running into rolling power cuts if anything further deteriorates in as far as the generation capacity of the utility is concerned.
Absolutely, Kathy. Our situation is very precarious as a country, and we are teetering actually on the brink of economic collapse as a result of Eskom's inability to ensure security of supply. As you're rightfully saying, that they always do have, excuses, and this week it's the wet, it's the wet call. But we do know that this is not a new issue. This has been an issue in 2008 before. The question then becomes, what measures have they put in place to ensure that this doesn't happen again? And unfortunately for them, they actually were caught up in a number of incidents that happened this particular weekend, which typically is supposed to be your low demand weekend. It's supposed to be very similar to Christmas, New Year's Eve, where you don't expect load shedding at all. And yet here we are at stage 4, a day after Easter Monday, which is very, very unfortunate.
Lungile, as South Africa, of course, we're going to begin moving into the winter months, and it's certainly not a good picture because over the summer months we've had to deal with load shedding on and off. What does this mean in terms of going into winter where we know automatically demand skyrockets?
Absolutely. So Eskom uses the summer months to conduct what they call their summer maintenance. And they did not do what they were supposed to do. It fell exceedingly short of what was supposed to happen. And this is supposed to counter winter months where they do not have planned maintenance. They just have a buffer for unplanned breakdowns, in essence. Looking at Eskom's forecast for May, June, July, we are going to be in a lot of trouble. Some of the forecasts are actually indicating that we will demand about 35,000 megawatts. As it is, Eskom is battling to give us 29,000 megawatts just in April. So what more when we enter into July and we're sitting, in temperatures of 6 degrees and there's snow in the Eastern Cape and the Western Cape? What are we going to do then? So it's not a good picture, and this is why even on their side they have said that they do forecast about 101 days in the excessive case of load shedding this winter.
What can people do realistically? Because it doesn't seem like we're going to get any kind of solution that turns the state of affairs around quickly enough to have an impact on, on the state of affairs. And as you said, it's not just affecting people's personal lives, it's affecting businesses. People have to slow down. They have to stop work in some instances. And this has very dire implications for the economy.
Absolutely. I would say that for businesses like your large businesses, they are considering going, off-grid, and they are considering, various options. There is the 100 megawatt embedded generation program that many of them have actually embarked on. But even that has delays because they are looking at options around how are they going to wheel this electricity. Then you've got your commercial customers, your smaller entities such as your banks and your industries, and what they can possibly do. Some of them have already looked at solar PV and they have it installed. You have others that have looked at gas. But that's that side. But the biggest issue that I foresee really are the people that try and create as many jobs as possible. And these are your SMEs as well. They really don't have any options. They are hamstrung by Eskom. They are hamstrung by rising costs of diesel. Even if they want to import, let's say, fabric from, China, they're going to have supply chain issues. They're not able to meet demands. And those factories, those small textile workers factories, they might have to shut down because they are unable to actually operate. Then, of course, you've got residential customers such as, you and me. The wealthier customers are sitting pretty. They've got their solar PV, they've got their batteries, and they're sorted out. But what happens to a person in an informal settlement who's in KZN where everything has washed away? They are at this moment trying to salvage that little that they can find. They're trying to look for lost relatives. The street lights are not working. There's no electricity. It comes and goes, and there's no water. It is an untenable situation we have put people through.
Lungile Mashele, let's leave it there for tonight. Well,